Most confided to me that they were not sure where they would have ended up. But, after giving it some thought, everyone said that yes, they'd absolutely have to do things differently to get ahead in today's new reality compared to yesterday's world. And that's what this book offers. Not only the perspective of someone who has been a CEO of a publicly traded company for more than 15 years, but also the insights from the firm that develops 1 million professionals a year and places someone in a job every 3 minutes of the workday. The advice here is drawn from assessments of more than 86 million professionals, so we know what great looks like. And we're constantly coaching, developing, and advancing professionals at all levels of organizations. Based on what we're hearing, and everywhere we look, the workscape is more complex. But it's also more adaptable than you may realize. And you have to be too, especially looking ahead to when the job market tightens and the pendulum swings from what people want toward what organizations need. Even so, with learning agility and self-awareness, there will always be a way. Like the professional who had asked me for some advice on whether or not to pursue a job with a very well-known tech company. You'd recognize the name, believe me. This company is known for creating an ecosystem for its employees, an immersive world of working, eating, and even exercising on site. What were once viewed just a few years ago as highly desirable perks, though, are now sometimes seen as drawbacks, at least for some people. As this person told me, if I work for them, they'd expect me to spend so much time there. But what if that weren't the case, I asked. What if you could ask for, and get, the flexibility you wanted? The pause that followed told me this person had not really considered this possibility before. Rather, the assumption was that things were set in stone for that employer, and that's simply not what I'm hearing these days. When it comes to how work gets done, now and in the future, it's not either or. It's all about the and. And don't think this applies only to millennials and Gen Z. I've heard plenty of seasoned professionals, and even senior executives, say they don't miss their daily commutes of 2 hours plus, sometimes each way. After working from home for 2 years, they can't imagine going back to an office every day. If that sounds like you, you're in good company. In one recent survey, more than 80% of the people who have been working from home say they don't want to go back into the office or prefer some hybrid arrangements, which is code for not going into the office very much. Other surveys indicate that some people not only want and need to continue working remotely, but some of them might even quit if their employers aren't flexible. But that's certainly not everybody. One colleague told me that she's excited to be back in the office. Not only does that fit her personal life, but it also meshes with her responsibilities. As we talked, she confided another reason. I miss seeing people in person. Turns out, those happenstance conversations, in the office kitchen while getting coffee, in the hallway, were a big part of the ties that connect us. We miss them and need to find a way to replicate them in a work-anywhere environment. And so goes today's topsy-turvy workspace. Then there was the mid-20s college graduate in his second full-time job. Throughout our conversation, he kept bragging to me about the office culture where he worked. But, come to find out, he wasn't actually working in person, and neither were most of the people in the company. The more he hyped his office culture, it occurred to me that his Zoom-based world didn't depend on an office to have a culture. The bottom line, in this new world, it's not about where you work. And that's true if you never go into a physical location or you are in a profession that requires you to be on site every day. Today, more than ever, it's all about the why, as in why you do what you do. Take the best, leave the rest. To be honest, my own thinking on this has evolved. Much earlier in my career, when I worked with a West Coast investment bank, I noticed that the CEO looked a little bit disheveled by mid-afternoon. Then I discovered that the CEO routinely came into the office at 4 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes after his daily jog. He was there 2.5 hours before the stock market opened so he could monitor overseas markets. And frankly, that was just the way he liked to operate.